It's time to chime in on this news story, which has been ongoing. China accuses former World Bank President Robert Zoellick on short selling. Basically, China putting the blame on foreigners for the amount of foreign investment accounts in China. Although it only accounts for about 2% of total stock market value on paper or on record, China's still trying to blame foreigners for their stock market crash and then rebound. Now, basically, what China has done is they've released a statement. China will punish those who violate laws and regulations, whether they are domestic or foreign investors, institutional or retail investors. That is a laugh, because we know that most of the players in the Chinese stock market are well heeled and are readily available with inside information. And we know that with the recent flash crash in China, what did the Chi-Coms do? They prohibited hedge funds and big stock market players from selling stock. Now, stock market, the word market means that it is a place for people to buy and sell goods or services. When you prohibit someone from selling, it is not a market or a legitimate market in any sense. And that is basically what the Chi-Coms have done. They're playing God with a stock market that is really organic in nature, because you've got every Tom, Dick, and Harry, or Chun, in China in the stock market. You've got a lot of retirees in there. You've got a lot of people in there that basically should not be in there. And it is a high-risk maneuver, especially when you consider that a lot of these people that are in this market simply cannot afford to lose what they have invested. Enough on the Chinese markets. Let's take a look at Greece. What's happening? Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras has agreed to a preliminary agreement with the EU for a bailout package of Greece against the wishes of the population of Greece. Now, among other things, it will mean more austerity for the Greek people, which simply cannot afford to do so. There are already limitations on Greek people being able to take their money out of ATMs. They should have been in gold and silver. They should have seen this coming. So you can blame the Greek government, you can blame the EU, and you can also really, if you want to be honest about this, blame some of the dumbheads in Greece for not seeing this coming and taking their money out of the illegitimate banks. Now, this new agreement with the EU will basically do what? It will turn over sovereignty of Greece to the EU, basically the IMF. Now, what's happened here is that Tsipras has allowed them to be able to implement their own court system that circumvents the Greek court system, among other things. So it's turning over the sovereignty of Greece for a bailout package which the Greek people do not need. They need to go back to the drachma. They need to do some house cleaning in Greece. If you thought this guy was going to be a hero and a champion of the people, you've got another thing coming. There are no champions. There are no heroes of the people, for the people. You're going to have to get your own house in order, because there's no one up at bat for you. And let that be a warning, not just to Greece, but for all countries in the EU and even the big players like China and United States. A long recession winter is on its way, people.